Hi, this is Jeremy Schuback with the PS Pod. In last tutorial we talked about the basic color correction tools. We're going to be continuing that and showing you some more advanced techniques using the same basic tools. Alright, when I look at this image, the first thing that pops up is it looks much too dark. So I'm going to go into Levels, go to Levels, and hit Auto first. Looks a little bit better, but certainly not light enough. We want this middle section especially, the point of focus, I'm going to zoom in on, to be much lighter. So I'm just going to move this middle point, move the little point, bring the whites in so we get a bit brighter, and that looks to be about where we want it. Alright, one problem with this though is when I look at it, it kind of made the rest of the image a little bit brighter than I'd want. You can see that it looks somewhat washed out over here and washed out over there. So what we're going to do with that, so let me just show you the before and after. It looks like it's a lot better. So what we're going to do with that, rather than going into Levels, is cheat it. Now you can see right here that there's a white box right here. This is called a mask. What this allows you to do is it allows you to go to the brush, and using the brush, I'm just going to set this to a standard default brush, increase the size with the square bracket, and then also decrease the hardness. What this allows you to do is you can draw on this layer. So you can see that the layer is completely white right now. If you draw on it with a black, you can basically erase out parts of it. So I don't want to erase out that part. That part I like where it is. But I can erase out this part. That's a little bit too much. I'm going to set this to a gray. And just kind of... And basically what it is wherever this is black, the layer is not affected, and wherever it's white, the layer is affected. So only part of this is being affected. If that makes sense to you, great. If not, let's do this a little bit less confusing of a way. I'm going to delete this, and I'm going to duplicate this layer. Up to this point, I've been showing you how to change the colors here. But you can also change the colors by going up to, this menu up here, Image Adjustment, and you have all the same options right here. So we could change the layers or the levels right here as well. So I'm going to go into Auto, and I'm going to do exactly what I did before. Just make it so it's much brighter all around. And the reason you would do this is if you only want to change the colors to a single layer, and you know you're never going to want to undo it. Because the thing with this is there's no layer to turn on and off. It is what it is, and that's why I duplicated the layer out first. The other reason this is nice is in a very simple way you can do something like take the eraser tool and just kind of erase out the parts of this that you don't want to be color corrected. So I'm just going to, let me just decrease the size here. I'm just going to erase out all of these parts, and I don't want them to be color correct. You'll notice there's a very soft edge on the brush. That allows me to then add in this background layer, and when I put this new color corrected layer on top of it, it works. Now you will notice that you see the line in between the two, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the size of the eraser, decrease the opacity of the eraser, and this just kind of creates more of a fade between the two of them. So there's no obvious lines. And this is an absolute cheat, but I have to say in this image, before, after, I kind of like it. So once again, the steps were duplicate the layer. Duplicate the layer by dragging it to the duplicate layer option. Go into Image Adjustments, Levels, or whatever it is you're adjusting the layer with, Auto, or whatever it might be. Again, this is just playing with it so you get the right colors, and then using the eraser tool to erase out the sections you don't want to be color adjusted. And it's just the identical layer showing up behind it, so only a certain part of it is adjusted. Excellent. All right, let's close out of this. Let me show you another example, similar sort of thing. All right, so we have this image. I'm going to duplicate the layer. Here's what I'm thinking right here. I'm thinking that the background is the right color, the foreground is the wrong color, so I'm only going to adjust the part of it with the foreground. So I'm going to use Levels, And let's press auto. Didn't do much because it's looking at the whole layer. So let's just bring that white point in. There we go. That's how much we want to see of this face. But you can see that it completely blew out the sky. So what we have right here is we have a layer adjustment that's blowing out the sky. So just as we erased part of the other layer, whatever part is drawn in black, it's as if this adjustment layer has been erased. Does that make sense? I mean, it shows. You can play with it. You can use a brush just as you would use the eraser. So I'm going to go to a brush, and just it's as if I'm erasing out part of the layer, because wherever I do this, the colors aren't being affected, wherever it's drawn on black. And you don't see where it's being drawn on except in the little icon in the layers over here. In fact, for the sake of demonstration, I'm going to make these bigger. Here we go. So you can see the layer a little bit better. That was just up here. You wouldn't ever do this except if you're demonstrating a video like I am right now. Something that's nice about this is you can actually undo the erase. So let's say that I hate calling it an erase, so you undo the coloring it black. So let's say you accidentally do that. You can switch to a white brush now and just make it so this is white. Oh, this brush isn't working, and it's not working because it's not in a normal mode. I'm going to set it into a normal mode. Just put it back in white, and now we have it so this adjustment layer is affecting exactly how we want it to affect. So there you go. I'm going to get out of that and do one more example and then close off this tutorial. Alright, so same thing as before. We're going to go into levels. Looks like there's a problem with contrast. There is not enough room to display the adjustment layer in this configuration. I don't know what that was supposed to mean. I'm just going to double click this here. I'm going to go to auto. And it did a little bit. I actually want to push that much, much further. So I'm going to just blow this. There we go. No, that's not good. And there we go. So you can see that after, before, after. You can see that there's a little bit with this spoon. If we really wanted to adjust it, we could go in with the brush and making sure that the brush is black. We could make it so it's not affecting that part of the spoon. It's really not necessary. It's just a little bit blown out. But you can affect little regions. Like this looks a little blown out here. I could do that. I could increase the size of the brush, maybe turn down the opacity of the brush, and just make it so that only kind of affects it. And we just have a much better layer effect right there. We're able to adjust every little bit as we want. Alright, so I'm going to close out the tutorial, and the thing that I really wanted you to get out of this tutorial is two things. One, you're able to duplicate the layer, erase parts of it out. Just going to go to the eraser. No, you can't see that because it's the same layer duplicated twice. And adjust this, this duplicated layer. And then you're really only color correcting part of it. So I'm just going to go into levels, image adjustment levels. I'm just going to press auto. I'm just going to do the same thing that I did before. Press OK. Bring on the background layer. And that way it's only affecting part of the image, and I can continue erasing part of it. So you can do it this way, and you can make it so only part of the image is being adjusted. Or the more advanced way to do that, the more advanced way, instead of having like two layers and there's no going back, is to do it with these masks and just creating an adjustment layer and painting it in black and white. And wherever it's white, the adjustment layer counts. Wherever it's black, it's as if you erased that layer. All right, so that's going to end this session. In the next session, I'm going to show you how to sharpen part of an image, how to blur a part of an image, and that's going to finish the color segment of these tutorials. All right, until next time.